Madrid, a city of light, history, and endless nights. There are cities that you visit and cities that you live. Then there are cities that you feel, that seem to pulse in time with your own heartbeat. Madrid belongs unmistakably to the last category. Spain's capital doesn't simply exist as a geographical point on the Iberian Peninsula. It breathes, hums, and dances. To visit Madrid is to witness a city where every cobblestone whispers stories of kings and revolutions, where art spills out of museums and onto the streets, where the night itself seems to stretch into eternity, and where life, la vida madrilena, is savored one moment, one glass of wine, one sunrise at a time. A city born of empire and earth. Madrid's beginnings are humble. Unlike other European capitals that rose from ancient empires or strategic ports, Madrid's origins are relatively recent in the long sweep of history. The city began as a modest Moorish outpost in the 9th century, established by Muhammad I of Córdoba around a fortress on the banks of the Manzanares River. Known then as Madrid, it served a defensive purpose more than anything else. Few could have imagined that this small settlement, surrounded by wild plains and dry hills, would one day become the beating heart of a vast empire. It wasn't until the mid-16th century that Madrid's destiny shifted dramatically. King Philip II, seeking a central location from which to govern his far-reaching domains, declared Madrid the capital of Spain in 1561. This decision, pragmatic, symbolic, and somewhat mysterious, changed everything. From then on, Madrid became the political and administrative core of one of the most powerful empires in history. The legacy of empire is still visible today. The grand avenues, the monumental palaces, and the statues of monarchs that the city all whisper of the centuries when the sun never set on the Spanish Empire. The Palacio Real, with its vast marble halls and gilded ceilings, remains a physical man.
The neighborhoods, a city of villages. Though Madrid is one of Europe's largest capitals, it often feels intimate, like a patchwork of distinct villages, each with its own rhythm, aroma, and personality. The best way to understand Madrid is not through monuments, but through its neighborhoods, the barrios that together form the city's living mosaic. Malesana, the rebel heart. Malesana has long been Madrid's nerve center of counterculture. Once the cradle of the Movida Madrilena, the cultural explosion that followed the death of dictator Francisco Franco in the late 1970s. It remains infused with youthful defiance and creativity. In those early years of democracy, Malesana became the epicenter of music, art, and freedom. Bands like Alaska y Los Pegamoids and artists like Pedro Almodóvar turned its narrow streets into laboratories of expression. Punk, pop, and excess collided, and Madrid rediscovered the meaning of joy after decades of repression. Today, Malesana still hums with that restless energy. Vintage stores sit beside vegan cafes, graffiti murals bloom across brick walls, and small bars throb with indie music. On any given night, you might find poets reciting verses in smoky corners, digital artists projecting experimental films onto building facades, or simply groups of friends sharing beers on a curbside until dawn. It's chaotic, imperfect, alive, a reminder that Madrid's soul thrives not in order, but in spontaneity. Chueca, pride and passion. Adjacent to Malesana, Chueca tells another story, one of liberation, acceptance, and color. Once a neglected quarter, Chueca transformed in the 1990s into the heart of Madrid's LGBTQ+ community. Today, it stands as a symbol of inclusivity and celebration. The annual Orgullo Gay de Madrid, Madrid Pride, is one of the largest pride festivals in the world, drawing millions into the streets for a week of parades, concerts, and love. But even outside of pride, Chueca radiates warmth and openness. Rainbow Flexage.
Eternal Madrid. As dawn breaks over the rooftops, the city awakens with a soft glow. The cafes open, the first espressos hiss from the machines, and the hum of the streets returns. The cycle begins anew, the timeless rhythm of a city that never really sleeps, only pauses to catch its breath. Madrid is a place of memory and movement, of art and appetite, of light that lingers long after you've gone. It teaches you how to live in the moment, how to see beauty in imperfection, and how to find joy not in the extraordinary, but in the everyday. For the traveller, Madrid offers not just a destination, but a feeling, a spark that stays with you. And long after you've left, you'll find yourself remembering the laughter spilling from a bar in Malesana, the echo of footsteps in Plaza Mayor, the warmth of a midnight crowd under the stars.